I will be honest. Last week I was literally in a car taking road data during the meeting, so I started the live stream on my laptop and then left.
It's hilarious. So which car are you finishing up with now?
That was for a class. I'm in a powertrains class, so we had to do coast down data. So it was just another student's car.
Oh, okay. That'll
Yeah,
be. I still want to know what you think of that solo car.
I will not be stating on a live stream what I think of that car.
Oh yeah, you started the stream.
Yeah, it is a technically it's a motorcycle because it only has three wheels. But yeah, well, I guess I can pull up the agenda and we can get started. Give me 1 second. I believe JR said he filled it out.
Yeah, it's on there. I think he said he updated it.
Yeah, it's short and sweet, but it exists.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it last week's went on for like 2 hours? So
Yeah. All right. Someone is actively highlighting it. It's not me. Whoever Anonymous Moose is.
Wait, why does it say anonymous? It doesn't show.
If it looks at the top name here.
I don't know who anonymous moose is, but that's me.
Oh, okay. That
But
just means you're not signed into a Gmail account.
no, I am signed into Gmail, but that's the crazy thing.
Weird. Oh well.
Yeah. No worries, no worries. So, I'll start. So, okay, everyone, welcome to the weekly Pirate Radio DAO meeting. So the first thing on our agenda is update on the mining pool. So last week I presented you guys with like a primary initial concept for like the mining pools that we were considering with like a token mechanism that people can like purchase in order to participate in it. Now since then there has been some new developments. One of the key developments is Jeremy and Adam. They have talked with an attorney, and they have given them some directives about how to actually go about this. So one key thing is in order to be free of SEC regulations when it comes to securities, we cannot use tokens. So if we are to register in United States, and if we are to carry this out, if we are giving tokens, the tokens are coming up with that the idea, oh, you are getting the token in order to receive some form of a return, right? So that's the idea behind a token. So because of that, it falls on the securities, and that means SEC has regulatory power over whatever the endeavor we are doing with regards to those tokens. So one question I thought was, how in the world all these other 1 billion NFTs and token projects are doing these things? So apparently most of them are not operating within United States for their legal registration purposes. They are doing from outside. So that is a possibility we can look into, but at the same time, I personally don't like that aspect. I kind of like to keep everything grounded in US. If we are to do it in US, the thing that attorney have recommended them is operation as a co-op. So instead of using tokens, people would basically uh, purchase the hotspot from Pirate Radio DAO and basically provide that light hotspot to be managed by Pirate Radio DAO mining pool. So just to show you, share my screen. Let me show. Okay, yeah. You guys can see my screen? Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a redesign of the mining pool architecture. So this is volume 1.2. So main difference is like, we kind of take out that token mechanism because we can't like, use the word token or like, give the notion of tokens in order to get participants. So instead, what we will have is we will have a central Pirate Radio DAO pool, and people who want to be part of the pool, they have several ways to join. One way, so let's say someone wants to join as a light hotspot member. So they will get the membership by simply purchasing the light hotspot that they need to use to join the pool through us. So once they do that, what happens is like, let's say we have the Pirate Radio DAO website, they will actually like go to that specific regional pool and purchase the light hotspot. And Pirate Radio DAO regional pool will use that proceedings to purchase the hotspot, and basically what we are doing is managing the hotspot for them. So for all intensive purposes, the mechanism is the same. However, the way we are defining it and going about it kind of like uh, like termed differently. So Pirate Radio DAO will get the light hotspot, they will deploy it, and in order to like compensate the member, so that's very important term, they are now light hotspot member in this pool, we will actually provide them with a lease. Now that lease amount is basically the pool rewards that will be generated by that specific regional pool. So the it's the same way, but the way we term things and way we operate things are different. So instead of saying like like token rewards, we basically say, oh, this is your lease for leasing your light hotspots to the Pirate Radio DAO pool. So people who are like staking like accessories or something, same thing, like they purchase their membership by purchasing like accessories membership. They either like contribute to buy like outdoor kit or outdoor antennas or something like that. They get the membership in the pool, and then as compensation, whatever the percentage that we think is suitable for that level of contribution, they get leasing rewards for their accessories things. And then the other two members are location members and install and maintenance members. Location members, self-explanatory. The way they become members are basically they stake their location, we verify their location. Once a hotspot get deployed at their location, they get their membership activated, and they start getting a lease payment for their location. Once again, the lease payment is coming from the pool that basically end up dispersing the revenue that the pool generate. Finally, the installer, same concept once again. They get they get to deploy the hotspot, and for that deployment they end up getting compensation. So in this case it is not like a lease, since it's a labor that we are compensating for. So we can like talk about a suitable compensation mechanism for installers, and they will be compensated by that. Pirate Radio DAO pool have the ownership of the light hotspots. Like even though like members are managing it, for pool rewards to be dispersed, the light hotspots has to be in like set of wallets the Pirate Radio DAO regional pool has control over. So through that they can disperse all these things through a smart contract, and the pool operator is still there managing this overall system, making sure everything runs smoothly. So this new method is makes things much simpler, at the same time keeps us kind of out of like any regulatory issues. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me. And once again, we are still like polishing. If there's like another thing we need to add into this, we're gonna do that. But right now this seems to be like the model that is most suitable, setting up regional pools as cooperative associates.
Is there any changes from when we last talked outside of you when it was you, me, and Jeremy? Has anything changed from that date?
No, not
Okay.
from that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm
So
okay.
yeah. The key difference from last Sunday when I presented this to you guys is the token concept is taken out in order to prevent any regulations that we might face. Because like, at this point, we can't really like, take on like these big federal regulatory authorities. Like, like that's just asking for like, unnecessary oversight. So with this, we can like, easily set up a test mining pool and see how well it like, goes through. So this is like the main thing. And if everyone is good with it, like, we can like leave this up. I'm gonna update the Discord forum, like, not Discord, sorry, Discourse forum by tomorrow, and I'll actually put it on the general channel so all of the members can go through this and see what they think. So kind of like, pool the suggestions, ideas, and any objections people might have. If everything is good, we can put in a proposal and start moving towards a test pool. Now, very important thing. So for a test pool, we need to first select a region where we are going to set this test pool, and also we need a region that is within continental United States for the ease of logistics, and also a region that our Pirate Radio DAO, like, some of our, at least one or more Pirate Radio DAO members have presence in and has the ability to do
So
active installations.
yeah, that was one of my questions: is how large of a geography do you envision a region being? Yes, that's it's
Uh,
largely going to be determined by membership allocation and availability. Yes.
exactly. So that's the thing. So the initial test pool, it doesn't have to be that large. Like, so for example, for 50 hotspots, like, if we are looking at an area about like, like 22,000 acres or so, that should be comfortable to put like, 50 hotspots without bringing down the transmission scale. So if for example, like, Gary, like if you happen to like, situated in like a town that doesn't have that many hotspots, like that's the key thing. It shouldn't be a saturated area. It should be like, low density area. And if you are located in like a town like that, and if you have the capability to like, deploy these hotspots that, we can supply, that would be like a good area, so let's say you are like, oh, like, like, oh, like Albertsville, like, this example. Oh, like, I'm closer to Albertsville. I know this is an area with severely lack of hotspots. We can easily deploy 50 hotspots here, and I have the capabilities to deploy them. So if you can check those boxes, and if you have a location like that, you can propose, I propose this location to be like that. So in that case, what would happen is for the testnet, you will effectively become like, one part of the pool operating group, since you are a key member who's proposing that. And so you can make like more decisions how to set up the uh, testing pool and everything. And also one of the things we would expect is if someone is proposing like a geography closer to them, that they have the capabilities to do the installs themselves, or at least gather enough like, locals that could actually like, take part as installers. So that way,
Yeah,
yeah, we kind of like, test this model in its actuality.
gotcha. Thanks, TK.
Sure thing, sure thing.
I forgot if we talked about if people were to hand over their. I don't think it's possible, right? They can't give us their hotspots. We
So
have to
they
use our
can.
own.
So to
Okay.
be honest, they can give their hotspot, but the thing is, they have to transfer the hotspot to like, the pool's wallet. So I think that's
Yeah.
the issue, because like for example, like, if someone like, like we are setting up the test pool and someone asks from me, oh, TK, like, can you give your hotspot? I can, because I like, trust the group. We are like, developing this.
Yeah.
But for a total stranger who like, happens to come into Pirate Radio DAO, they wouldn't necessarily trust it. Like they wouldn't
Hmm.
know the people. Yeah. So from them asking them to give their hotspot and transfer their hotspot to a different wallet, I feel like that's a bigger threshold.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree. And I think that we should, if we ever do decide to do that at the start, we should kind of get brand new, never onboarded wallets. I mean, our hotspots, I should say.
yeah, that's the thing. So because of that, like, I'm like thinking the initial phase would be just leveraging on the low cost of the light hotspot and setting something up. Because if they come out with light hotspots about like, $200 or so, like that's not something someone will be like, that worried about spending on a project like this.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's like the plan for now. So I'll have these things up online so everyone can like take a look at them, and I'll put like some open-ended questions that we kind of need to answer as well, so people can leave their um, input on that, how they want to like uh, improve the system. Maybe they might have like some other ideas that we haven't really explored, so those kind of things would be useful. But the key thing is, after that phase is over, deciding upon a location, because after we decide upon a suitable location, we can like kind of start putting out there in order to get location stakes. Because the biggest hurdle, to be honest, like I'm not worried about getting light hotspot members. Literally, we can tweak this out today. By tomorrow, like that 50 light hotspot memberships will be gone
Hmm.
because people are interested in this. However, location uh, stakes, so those are things like that's kind of hard. So sooner we actually get that word out saying, oh, we are looking for location stakes in this area, faster we can like get like possible like viable candidates to place these hotspots. So that's the thing. So the next big thing after we put this proposal is location. So I urge all you guys to like see what are like the good locations that if you guys personally have access to and have like some control over reach of logistics, or you might have friends who have like good reach in like certain towns or areas that has less hotspots, and we can like really deploy this test pool and see how this system works.
Yep, good. I'm actively talking to a number of people in my world, and look, it's an education process for non-native kind of connectivity people or Web3 people. So it's interesting and having to educate some of these people to get them. I mean, it takes a little bit of it's a little bit of a process, and these aren't necessarily personal people's homes. These are more commercial and industrial locations. So I'll keep everyone posted on how that's going.
But for
I
the
may
light
need
hotspots, they don't have to be commercial. It would be preferable because they're going to be a little easier. Uh, but for 5G, yes, it would be commercial locations.
yeah, I'm coming from like a commercial real estate, um, the commercial real estate world. So that's where
Oh
kind
yeah,
of the
then
majority of my contacts are in terms of the physical assets and locations.
yeah,
But gotcha.
yeah. I think depending on the location itself, if we can how can I say, if we can benefit from adding 5G and the business can benefit from it, for as a DAO, if it's smarter for us to put a 5G hotspot there, I'd rather go that route
Yep, gotcha.
because
Yeah, that's
that for
definitely
us,
what I'm
yeah,
thinking. Kind of the next phase, for sure.
yeah,
Good
for
point.
us that would benefit, especially if we could get the footfall as a DAO that can bring in a lot more funds than just like LoRa mining.
Yep,
That's true.
nice.
But TK, you did good. I like that, and we're kind of just facilitating contracts between. We can't call them investors, but members, and pretty much we're facilitating the contracts between everybody.
Yes, basically. Yeah, so like in a way, like Jeremy. So yesterday, Jeremy, Dennis, and I, we were like talking about this, and basically, like the initial phase of this mining pool is going to look like we are the management. We manage things. Like we are not like investment comp. No, we are managing them, and we manage it the best possible way. So the coverage would be good, and people would actually earn higher level of HNT than the network average. So that's the basics, how this boils down to. So on the discourse, I'm gonna like, highlight that short and sweet so people understand where we are coming from. So
Service provider, effectively.
exactly.
Yeah, and we get a cut from it.
hmm So I think like, but overall, this might be like, uh, because I know like everyone likes like the token concept as well, but we need to kind of be realistic about how we approach it at the beginning since it's a new concept and everything. So we can first start with this, and later once we like go further, we can access into all the other things. But the first thing is just getting this kind of a new idea, like off the ground.
Get the business model kind of up and running. That's exactly how I was thinking of it. I mean, you could set it up to where, I mean, look, it's all going to come down to the initial phase of how you make the business model work, the users coming into um, getting that established, and then the DAO stuff is not to sound too it's not important, but I think we can only do what we can on that front right now, and we have to kind of take what the landscape is, and as the regulatory kind of advances, we could be in position to morph into that structure.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I think we can like next week we might actually hear more on the uh, DAO what is it like the legal framework as well. I know like Jeremy's mentioned him and Adam going to talk with like a attorney from Colorado. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Logan. Yeah. I was out in Colorado last week and met with him, and he's a kind of like he's very sharp private equity VC um, attorney, and he's totally into the DAO space right now, and he's based in Denver. So um, yeah, I think there's going to be a conversation later on this week there.
that's good. That's good. Gary, do you know like whether he is like interested in like joining as a part of this or like how he wants to like
I just yeah, I mean, literally, I met him through Hype Free Crypto. Kind of got to talking to him because we both were in New York for a period of time. We know some similar people, but yeah, I mean, we just literally had a couple beers last week, and I mentioned to him that he was talking about a couple DAOs that he's starting to kick around, and I told him about Pirate Radio, and then just introduced him to Jeremy a few days ago, and then so I think he sounds very interested. He was, you know, he was excited about the introduction and kind of just getting to learn more about. He, wants to be. He's he's uh he's very tapped into what's to this space.
I see. Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely. If we can have like, someone like that on board, Yeah, that would actually make the process whole lot easier for us.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very excited about talking about what's going on here.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna have to actually jump here in the next minute or so, but glad I got to join for this portion. But I will. I'll take a look at the slide deck once I get to my destination, and I guess we could pick it up this week going forward.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You be safe.
Okay,
Take
okay,
care.
guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Take care.
Of course. Take care. All right. At least it sounds like we've decided on one thing. So.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was next on the? Hold on. Let me
That
see.
was literally all that was on the agenda. If you want, I can reshare it.
It's all good.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So that was it. Cause and here's the thing. I'd rather do this. Like I was kind of thinking about this rather than. I don't want to deal with SEC.
Yeah. No, that
Cause it.
seems like a huge hassle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, we could have done it overseas, but yeah, if people don't feel comfortable, then
Yeah.
we would just stick
There's
it
like
here.
there's like several advantages of this model. One is now token model sounds very like like new Web3, right? Okay, it's good. Like we are like working in Web3, but at the same time we still have to like set up like the blockchain for that, set up the token mechanism, make sure
Mm-hmm.
like the L2 that we are selecting is compatible with the token issuing system that we are going to set up there. So there's like like number of extra steps in that thing. So definitely like even though like we are doing this mainly to like circumvent like these SEC regulations, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes like a very like suitable initial MVP, like so I think like like overall this system is much easier for us to set it up and monitor, and afterwards like as we grow then we'll start looking into like better things like with the token mechanism and all those things,
Yeah.
but the initial thing, yeah, initial thing is first getting this set up.
So we're gonna pretty much beat Emirate without actually owning the hotspots.
Yes, basically. And so now the biggest question is someone will definitely ask from us, why would they go to us instead of going to Fair Spot? You know, like why don't the like especially like a location mistaken person can say, wow, why should I like join pirate radio pool? I can go to like Fair Spot. Oh, what about Emirate? Like and here in Northeast there's like couple like Hostify, like all these other
Yep.
companies who does it, right? So for example, that's a very good question, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually have an answer for that, because I was talking this with Keith earlier in the week. So one of the key things is, so this is a mining pool that Pirate Radio DAO is creating. And one of the key things we are doing is we are integrating the local community onto this pool, right? Because these are regional pools. So one, okay, like all the other hotspot companies, they either give a fixed payout or
Mm-hmm.
a payout tied to their only location. Like it's just their location. Their hotspot
Yep.
runs this much. Okay, that payout you get. In our model, it's not like that. We get the local people to deploy the hotspot the best way possible. So that means location is stake in person. They don't have to like do like significant work or effort. They just have to provide the internet and make sure everything just like stays after it's set up. So one is that one, they don't have to do extra effort because like with Emirate, with Ferrysport, the location host has to put this in a good look position. They have to put a mast or whatever. They have to buy like outdoor kit because their earnings is dependent upon that. So there's like that less amount of effort the location staker has to do because we are getting the community involved locally in order to do that effort for them. And the other thing, all the hotspots in the pool is contributing for their revenue. So basically, it's like, the game of averages. So the
Yeah.
average out, they will end up getting better. So the third thing, I think this thing is going to be a key thing. So all these Hostify, all these other places, they are solely dependent upon proof of coverage, right?
Yep.
So 5, 6 years down the road, when proof of coverage is decreasing halfway through, what is going to happen to these rewards? Like, the location hosts would be less and less incentivized to, like, keep up with it.
Yep.
So one of the key things I was thinking of, since we are a community and since we have been thinking about voyages to improve IoT usage, what we
Mm-hmm.
can do is we can use that community regional pools to basically spring up IoT use, projects within those regions. So for example, I mentioned this in last meeting as well. Like if someone is doing this in, like North Bergen Town. There's a regional mining pool in North Bergen Town. If we set up, like, a voyage to work with the municipality in North Bergen Township
Yep.
and basically set up a IoT system to monitor garbage collection or monitor, like, flood detection, early flood detection at like choke points in the city.
Yep.
Now, that IoT use is going to go through the system, which is once again the hotspots that we have situated there. So not only, like, that data credit is going to go through the same hotspots we have set up, the revenue that is coming from that IoT project, it is going to go to the regional pool as well. So that becomes another supplementary source of revenue. The people who are
Yeah.
doing that voyage, yeah, they get certain cut,
Like,
but they are giving an cut to that regional pool as well. Why? That regional pool is funding that project. You know what I mean?
yep. And now
Yeah.
with Helium allowing you to pick which miner you has priority, we can put one of the uh pirate radio ones to be the primary one.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I
So,
agree. I that's the part that I was saying. Like a lot of us have experience in Cell, in LoRa, so we can build out the network so that one, you have 5G coverage and LoRa as well, Wi-Fi. So we'll build out all those because I don't think the other ones are doing it. And
mm.
then yeah, we have the LoRa like IoT build out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so that becomes like basically like, a future-proof concept where even in the future when POC is running out, it's okay. Why? We have several other revenue streams contributing
Hmm.
to the pool. So people who are in the pool, they never, like, end up coming to a point. They might, like, not get a payout, because that's what we are building towards. It's the same vision Helium has, but we are doing it in a community sense with a local, like, with the focus on locality. Rather than thinking all across the world,
Hmm.
we are focusing on small, small pools.
And not only that is Helium is offering the backhaul, the back end, but we're offering, the ability to create the front end to the sensor. And that's
Yeah.
the issue with LoRa. And I mean, this, I don't have to tell you, but trying to get, 5 LoRa sensors to work together is quite a bit of a pain.
So
So,
that's,
all,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's like the overall thing, So that's why this kind of a, like, decentralized community mining model becomes like such a powerful tool, because it basically can, like, setting up these kind of, like, community driven project, we can keep everyone getting that, revenue of passive income without, like, any issue. So
Hmm. No, I like the idea, man. I think this is a little bit better than what we initially had planned, and I think on paperwork wise, I think it's going to be harder, but I think like accounting wise, it's going to be hard, but I think it's going to be relatively far more straightforward.
yeah. So we'll set that up. I'll put the discourse up and everyone can go through it. Yeah, so is there any other thing we need to discuss this week?
Nothing from at least the agenda standpoint.
Yeah, I think now it's actually starting the voyage.
Yep.
So
So I'll put the stuff on discourse
all right.
and yeah, it start like like pulling like suggestions. So once like like probably like next Sunday after we get enough like after we get some suggestions and people have time to like go through it and digest it, I'll put forward the proposal.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, ETK.
Sure thing, no worries.
And then we'll catch up later this week. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think let's see what Jeremy also has to say. But I think we're making progress on the. This was, I think this is one of the bigger hurdles to figure out how the actual company works, or the DAO, I should say.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. That's good. We have like a clearer path now. So after
Mm-hmm.
we hear some more from like the contact Gary linked up with Jeremy as well. Yeah, we'll like make everything official and get some steam forward with this idea.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I guess
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Dennis, one thing. So you and Jeremy are in talks with Bobcat for light hotspots and those things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I want to say it, but yes, it's one of those
I see.
NDA
I
things.
see.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, we are, and uh, they said to kind of give them a couple days.
Mm,
You'll see what I mean in a couple days.
I see. I see.
And then, but yeah, then they said that they're gonna start to, what is it called? Get send those to DY for certifications shortly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, and then they're not bad actually.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's all I'll just say. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
to see some
Yeah.
stuff and it's cool.
Mhm.
So
I have been like following up with Dragino as well on those things. Yeah,
yeah.
like the main thing is we kind of need to like make sure like once we have set and run, like we can get without like having like a long wait time. That's like the
Hmm.
main thing. But I think with the light hotspots, yeah, that shouldn't be that much of an issue because most of the things are coming more and more like without like logistical hurdles these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
So.
I know what you mean, and that was one of the reasons that we never did Laura, like, I mean helium, excuse me, let me rephrase that. That's why we kind of didn't push helium, because waiting 6 to 12 months, I just got my racks since April. So but yeah, like, yeah, it's just been a nightmare. So but right now it's, I think, 3 months, and I think with light hotspots, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll set it up, and once we get the proposal passed on this and get like a location selection and those things, we can talk more in detail about streamlining those logistics as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not like that important right now.
No, but it's we do know the process, and we, by the time those come out, I think we do have some time to finalize everything. And I think, don't quote me, but I think she said June.
I see. Yeah,
So we still have
mhm. The
April,
to be
May,
honest,
June. Yeah, 3 months.
yeah. I kid you not. Okay, so I made like a tentative timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guess what is the time I set up for purchasing?
June.
June 20th.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I think, dude, if I'll try to jot that down and see if how close you are.
Yeah, like,
I know you're close. Yeah.
and I like like estimated based on how everything is happening. This might be the best way to like go about. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
good. It's good that I'm close enough. Okay, yeah, sure thing. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll set up the discourse and yeah, we'll gather some more suggestions and I'll submit the proposal next week, like before next week's meeting.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Sure thing. Thank you.
So, you and I will chat sometime this week. I hope the rest of you guys have a good week.
Yeah,
Good
enjoy
luck.
your guys' week too.
Good
Sounds
luck,
good.
Griff.
See you guys.
Lights at the
Later.
end of
Yeah, guys.
Eternal.
Bye.